we build up these things in our mind to a gigantic mountain of we have to be this way or we have to do this thing. But like, we're just telling ourselves that, right? You don't have to, but we make ourselves think that we do. I'm just tired. You know, I got tired of being somebody I'm not. I got tired of placing these expectations of other people in my life of how I should be, what I should look like, what you should be doing, what's the right path, what's this way. But there is no right path, right? Because things change all the time. You make decisions and it changes maybe what's gonna happen, but that is what was meant to happen. I'm just excited to be in the era of being, you know, letting go and knowing that what we need and what's meant for us is gonna be. And I know some people might say that's so weird, but truly, like truly things work out in the way that they're meant to be. And I know even in the difficult moments, it's such a hard thing to talk about because I've been through hell and back, you know, from my videos that I've talked about, but I know I wouldn't be me who I am right now, and I want to have been able to understand empathy to the depths and to the levels that I can. And I have so much compassion for everyone because we all go through things that we have no idea about, right? Because we focus on our lives and this, and that's important, but I just look at people as souls, you know? Like, we're all here and we just learn our lessons and we live our lives, and like, I never judge people because we don't understand what it feels like to be in their shoes. Only they can, and we can understand it to a level. You know, I got tired of, like, I stopped caring what people thought. I stopped caring what people would say because it's based off their level of perception, and that only goes so far. The only person who really knows you is you. You know, you sit alone with yourself. You're with yourself every day. You're making decisions. You know what feels good for you. People can give great advice, and that's so helpful, but you should be the one to make those decisions ultimately. Just imagine you're 100 years old and you're sitting there, say you're sitting on a lake, and you're sitting there and you're thinking about everything that you've experienced in your life. You know, the people that left you, the heartbreaks, the good memories, you know, whatever that may be. Just say you're sitting there and you're thinking about everything that happened in your life and the decisions you made. Think about the regrets you could have. Think about why you didn't do something. Think about the things that held you back, or think about the good times. But do you think you're going to be sitting there and looking back at all the times that you stressed yourself out? You put the burdens on yourself that weren't yours. You lived in other people's expectations that weren't yours. You know, think about what that would feel like. And then think about what you would have done. What would you do? Right? What feels good for you? What do you feel? What do you want to follow in your heart? What is your passion? What person makes you feel that way, or that you can trust, or that is compassionate and understanding and loyal? You know, what lights you up? Or where's your favorite place to go? If you could imagine where you wanted to live, where would it be? Do you want to have a dog? Do you want to live in the woods? Do you want to live in the ocean? Imagine the people you want around you. You know, are they consistent? Are they reliable? Do they like to go on adventures? Are they funny? You know, what kind of foods do you want to eat? And then think about that. Think about right now, if you were that age, or what things that you want to do. And then think about why you aren't doing them. You know, and I've recently done that a lot. I'm like, I hold myself back for what? You know? It's like we create these things that might not even be real yet, but we create them in our head. And I know it's protection, but you don't know until you know. It can be so easy to fall back on the, oh, it's not gonna work out, or the worst case scenario, or we just like, we beat ourselves up, or we convince ourselves that, oh, it's too risky, or it's too scary, so I shouldn't do this, I shouldn't put myself out there, or this person's gonna hurt me. And I find myself trying to catch myself out of that mindset. You know, sometimes we default back onto these belief systems or these thoughts in our head. You know, I struggled with overworking. I used to literally call myself a workaholic. because I would throw myself into work or throw myself into doing something to avoid how I was feeling, or to avoid the thoughts about myself, or the upsetting thoughts, or the negative thoughts, or I'd avoid just being with myself because I didn't know how to just be. It was so hard for me, and even now I struggle with that. I struggle with thoughts of worthiness. Like, I literally have tied my worthiness to my productivity. And even the word productivity could be, changed by the meaning. Like, you can be productive by resting, right? But in my brain, I was like, no, I'm not worthy unless I'm doing something. I'm not worthy unless I'm going after a goal, or I'm working on stuff for work, or I'm going out and hanging out with people, or like doing something to better myself. And I feel like I got trapped in this self-help cycle, kind of. Like, I felt like I always had to be working on something, always had to be doing something. And lately, I've been just being. Like, I came home to my hometown to visit my family, and it felt so good. And life is a little bit slower because I'm so used to living in the city, or I'm so used to doing something. And it feels so good to just be, and to be around people who like love you for you. And there's nothing attached to that, right? Like, you are worthy for existing on this planet. Do you know how life is hard? Okay? Life is so hard. Life is full of difficult lessons. You can have heartbreak, you can experience loss, you can experience losing your job, losing your house, like not having a home, losing friends, losing people you thought that loved you, being betrayed or backstabbed, or having health issues, or having near-death experiences, or dying. Like, life is hard. And I was like disconnecting from connecting. I was just going because I was so afraid to feel happiness. I was so afraid to make deeper connections with people because I'd been so hurt in the past that like it's like protecting yourself, right? But really, is it living? I wasn't living. Like, it's so important, and I know this sounds so cliche, but like going out and putting your feet in the grass, like no electronics, just being, or just sitting there and just writing about your thoughts. I find myself distracting myself. There's social media, or you watch Netflix, or you watch, and sometimes that's a good thing, right? Like, heck yeah, go enjoy that movie, or go, watch this, or you're watching this right now, But I think there's a balance, and I was way too far on the other side. Like, I wasn't balancing that. And I know we live in a world where you see external results, but it can be so important to go within first. And then that's going to affect your external world, right? So like, you don't get a good night of sleep, and then the next day you're not as focused. Or say you have a test coming up and you can't concentrate because you're so tired, or you don't give your body the food that it needs to be and to recharge and to have energy, or you just don't take that time to just be alone out of anybody else's energy and to see what your innate thoughts are and feelings are, regardless if anyone else is around you. Or we're constantly on everybody else's schedules all the time, right? Like work, school, people, and I feel like I was getting disconnected from myself. Yes, I love alone time, but I would even distract myself. Like, I'd listen to podcasts or music, and that can be so helpful and so good, but sometimes literally just being. And I know that sounds so cliche, but have you ever just went on a drive and just were with yourself, no music, no nothing? Or you go sit just all alone in your room, nothing around you. Or you go out, you go in your backyard or your balcony, or you go out in nature and you just be. And it feels so good, right? I realize we can be so impacted by the things that we consume, the content that we watch, the TV shows that we watch, the people we talk to. I think it affects us so much without us even realizing it, right? Like you go on social media and you see something that creates an emotional reaction from you and that affects you in a negative way or a bad way, and then you find yourself thinking about that or being in that energy for the rest of the day or for the rest of that hour, right? And I know it can be so easy because I do that all the time, but I'm really trying to consciously look at that and choose that. It's just so important to be with yourself, and it's so important to just slow down. Like, we live in such, you have to do this and this and that, but look at the reasons why, and it's so important to look at the reasons why we are doing something, right? Are you working out because it feels good for you? Or are you working out because you think you have to look a certain way for someone else? Or are you going out with these people because you think you have to, or because, or are you like genuinely spending time with them? It's like recognizing how we feel in our body, when you're around certain people and you feel energized and you feel good, or on the opposite, you're around people and your body feels tense, you feel icky, you feel drained after being with them. And then that's a good indicator that they're probably not good people to be around, Spend so much time on other people's schedules or expectations of who we should be or what we should be doing, but what makes us happy? What feels good for you? What feels right for you? And I know some people talk about, oh, you shouldn't go based off feelings and emotions, but that makes up our whole world, right? You watch a funny video to feel happy, to feel good. You drink that coffee because it makes you feel good, or you love the scent of it and it makes you feel cozy, right? You love Christmas because it feels cozy and it feels good, It's like everything is based off how we feel, and our body will tell us that before our mind does. It's so important to just let things go. And we talk about surrendering and letting things go, and it doesn't mean that you don't have goals and you still continuously work on things. I think what comes first above all is your mental health and you and your body and your being. Stay tuned for next week's video. I love you so much and I appreciate you. Make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe if you wanna, or you don't have to. You can dislike it if you wanna, or send this to a friend. Like, I'm genuinely here to connect and just like share my voice and chat with you, like we're just sitting down having a coffee, because that's, I feel like, what social media can do is connect you with people, right? And let you know that you're not alone. And we're all experiencing this thing that we call life.